Ooh, I've been waiting to check out this film. I've been waiting. But that's why we're going to get into the review of it right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back today for another movie review. Today we're going to be reviewing the film The Paper Tigers, which is coming in theaters and on demand May 7th. And the reason I wanted to check this film out is because the trailer jumped out at me and it gave me all types of like crazy vibes. I was like, I just knew I was going to enjoy it. I just like the energy, I like the casting, and I love a good martial arts film. And like, trust me, I love a super hardcore martial arts film. I love The Raid and anything that follows suit. But the fact that this one had a comedic tone to it, I was very intrigued by it. And then I love the characters just by what I can see off the trailers. And they absolutely delivered. And overall, this is a super enjoyable film. It really, really was. And like, besides maybe two small things, I would say this is an absolute very good family-friendly film that anybody can enjoy. But like, there's two particular scenes for sure I would not suggest as far as with kids. And this is truly with dialogue, and depending on if you have kids or not, you know how to screen that and whatnot. But other than that, like, the film was super enjoyable. But what's happening in this is that you have teenagers who are kung fu disciples, and they're inseparable. These three kids, like, they're really good, and they flaunt it everywhere they go. They record themselves, they pick fights, and they are disciplined, but like at the same time too, like, they definitely know what they're capable of and the star power behind it. So that's how it starts off, and then you go about 25 years later, and they have all grown up, went their own ways, and they pretty much are washed up now. So their glory days are long behind them. But come to find out now, their old master was murdered, and they have to come together to figure out who did it, and essentially, really stand up for their and his pride and reputation. So it's truly about defending their master's legacy, and that's what brings them all together. But yeah, this film is very fun. It's entertaining, and I think everybody will have a good time checking this film out, because it's, without a doubt, you can tell that the cast had an amazing time filming this. Like, you really, really could tell just by how the characters radiate off the screen. I really, really love like the opening phase of this movie, about the first 20 minutes when they were younger. I just think that there's a lot of connectable points with it. And I mean, we see the dynamics of the cool, popular kids, and, the bully dynamic and getting the girl and all that other stuff. We see that. So all of us has at some point been or seen or, at some point experienced that. So like, kind of seeing it on screen in this fashion was kind of comical, but enjoyable. And I just really think that it set the tone for the characters and overall this genre. Good action, but at the very same token, very comedic and fun. It does not take itself serious at all, and yet it stays very consistent to its tone. You do not have to worry about it, because with martial arts involved, you're thinking like, and then again, you talking about somebody getting murdered, you're thinking like, all right, well, at some point it's going to be hardcore action. No, it's at all means it's still family friendly, very blanketed by comedy. And all the characters were enjoyable. Jim, played by Mykel Shannon Jenkins, one of my favorite characters of this. I really like Jim. And I got one question about the casting, but I'll just save it to the end. But Jim was one of my favorite characters in this as well. In this, that I just, everything that he did on screen, I just couldn't help but to laugh at. I mean, when he gets an adult, he becomes this big, swole black guy, and like, you think he has like, and again, he was like the man when he was younger, and so he lost all bits of his kung fu, once he got older, and he now is like, resorting to like MMA, and like, to see him be the biggest of his crew, like, and to see how that character like kind of evolved over time, it's just funny, and it's really creates some very comedic scenes, along with Hing, and Danny, who's his other two friends in this as well. Again, the other thing about this and why I want to keep premising that it's family friendly is because it really does channel some good messages that you can bring out of this. Some good lively and ethical messages you absolutely can pull from out of this as well. Again, the action was okay, and the choreography was nice. I really love what they did with the choreography. I really love what they did with the effects and sound with the choreography, and it made all the fights enjoyable. Like, by no means did it feel cheesy, even though it was comical at times. But yeah, speaking of the Mykel Shannon Jenkins casting, so he's a dark-skinned, handsome, grown man. But when he was a kid, the younger version of him, he was absolutely light-skinned. So I was thinking to myself, like, they couldn't find like a dark-skinned younger teenager that looked like him once he got older. And like a part of me keep thinking like, maybe they did that on purpose, but it is what it is. But like, it's so hard to overlook that. I just kept thinking like, because when you get older, you're trying to figure out who's who. And so when they first go to look for Jim's in this, he's in this dojo, and you're trying to figure out, well, where's he at? And I, for the longest, could not figure out who was it until he eventually came over to find out. But I also think that Danny's character, who's clearly not going to get Daddy of the Year, who was the better of the three of them, I really love the blanket layering of this character as well. And I think a lot of people's going to be able to resonate with his character. And I also think that Alain Uy, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, did a fantastic job as your lead in this film. But again, I think that, the other big thing why people gonna like it is because, like, for all the adults who still has a little bit of kid in them, you're gonna channel and really connect with a lot of the things with these guys who their glory years are way past them, and now that they're washed up and they're thinking they still got it, but they're dealing with injuries, they're dealing with kids and significant others, and how that comes into play, and for the three boys doing what they usually do best, and that's getting the initiative. And so now that they're adults and the world is around them, like, there's a lot of factors of why people are going to be able to connect with that. But yeah, the final fight of the film was dope. I really, really, really liked it. I thought it was a good sealant for this film. Not to mention the amazing cameo that is at the end of this film. It is superly. It was so appropriate, and it was handled so good, along with some dialogue that gives you a really good pun, just in case you don't know who he is. That just really made me smile at the end of the film. I really love the casting for that cameo for that. But yeah, the last thing I'm gonna say is that, again, there's two scenes that the dialogue, there's certain dialogue used that is, is definitely inappropriate, and for kids, obviously. And it's kind of cringy when you hear it because of the word choices used and how it's used. But like, again, I understand, for the sake of the movie, why and how it had to be done in that way. But just, as much as on premises to be family friendly, just for the kids, that may check it out, there is going to be two scenes that has some super heavy dialogue, sensitive dialogue that could, obviously really take this from being out of a family-friendly film. But overall, The Paper Tigers was everything I thought it would be. I enjoyed this film. I can't wait to check it out again. I do got some other things I need to screen, so I'm going to come back to it in a little while. But I did enjoy this film, and I cannot wait to check it out again. But yeah, that will do it for this review. Obviously, stay tuned. Jump in the comments and let me know what you thought about this film when you check it out. And definitely stay tuned because we got more reviews coming very, very soon. I can't even talk. Soon, folks. But thank you so much for watching. See you later.